There are days when you don't want a full meal. You just want something that feels like a reward. Maybe you're standing in line at the checkout. Maybe you're halfway through your break at work. Or maybe you're opening your pantry thinking, I just need a bite of something good. And that's when you see it. That familiar brown wrapper, the promise of chocolate, peanuts, nougat, and caramel all in one. Snickers, a candy bar so iconic that people forget it's also an engineering masterpiece, a tiny handheld structure of layered textures and precise manufacturing. But have you ever wondered how a Snickers bar is actually made? Let's go behind the scenes, into the fields, the factories, the machinery, and the secrets to see how one of the world's most beloved chocolate bars comes to life. Step by step, layer by layer, crunch by chew by melt. This is how Snickers is made. Before anything reaches the factory, the ingredients themselves travel incredible distances. The peanuts usually come from places like Georgia or Texas in the US, where they grow under warm, dry conditions. Chocolate relies on cocoa beans grown near the equator, Ghana, Côte d'Ivoire, Indonesia. Sugar comes from beets or sugarcane. Milk powder comes from dairy farms. Even the salt has its own carefully selected source. Each ingredient isn't just chosen for taste, it's chosen for consistency. The Snickers you buy in New York has to taste exactly like the one in Tokyo, Sao Paulo, or Paris. That's the first miracle, global standardization of flavor. But let's step inside the factory. It all begins with the nougat, the soft, fluffy base that holds the bar together. Nougat for Snickers isn't like the nougat in fancy European pastries. It's engineered to be airy but strong, sweet but not overwhelming, soft but not sticky. In huge industrial mixers the size of small rooms, sugar, corn syrup, and whipped egg whites are blended with milk powder and a special cocoa mixture. Air is introduced into the mix, giving the nougat its signature lightness. Then a conveyor spreads this warm, marshmallow-like mixture onto a cooling belt. Rollers shave it into the perfect thickness, not too tall, not too dense. For each batch, technicians test the nougat's elasticity, moisture level, temperature, and even its bounce. If it doesn't pass, it doesn't move forward, because if the nougat isn't perfect, the entire bar collapses. On another side of the factory, caramel cooks in giant stainless steel kettles. Making caramel is one of the most precise steps. If it cooks a little too long, it becomes brittle. Too short, it becomes runny and slides off the bar. Snickers caramel is intentionally thick and stretchy, a blend of sugar, milk, and butter cooked to a very specific temperature. Once ready, the caramel is poured as a smooth golden river across the sheet of cooled nougat. And this is where the magic starts to build. Two textures, two flavors, one perfect contrast, but we're still missing the ingredient that defines Snickers. Snickers uses whole peanuts, not chopped pieces. And they cannot be just any peanuts. First, the peanuts are cleaned and sorted by size. Only those that meet exact specifications move forward, the just right peanuts that fit the bar and give that signature crunch. Then comes roasting. The peanuts travel through long, heated tunnels where hot air circulates around them, toasting them evenly. Special sensors track their color and moisture content. If the roast is even slightly off, the entire batch is rejected. Why? Because one peanut that tastes too raw or too burnt will ruin that perfect bite. Once roasted, the peanuts cascade down onto the caramel in an even layer. This is the moment where a Snickers bar looks like, well, a mess. A glorious, sticky, peanut-covered mess. But trust the process. The giant sheet, nougat, caramel, and peanuts now moves through a series of blades. Huge guillotine cutters divide the slab into long strips. Then, each strip is cut again into individual bars. It happens fast, thousands per minute. The timing must be perfect so every bar has the correct amount of peanuts, caramel, and nougat. Some bars get rejected instantly by laser-based sensors that detect irregular shapes. It sounds dramatic, but imagine trying to coat a misshapen bar in chocolate. It would break, it would leak, it would ruin the batch. Consistency is everything. Now comes the part people love the most, the chocolate. Bars glide across a conveyor and enter a tunnel where warm milk chocolate rains down in a perfectly calibrated curtain. This enrobing process covers the top and sides. Then the bars pass over a mesh belt that forms the chocolate base on the bottom. A small vibrating mechanism shakes the bars, removing excess chocolate and smoothing the coating. And then the signature Snickers texture happens. A wave-like air jet passes over the chocolate, creating the ripples on top. That pattern isn't accidental. It's part of the Snickers identity. From there, the freshly coated bars enter a long, cooling tunnel, a refrigerated chamber that brings the chocolate down to the ideal temperature without cracking or dulling its shine. When they exit, they finally look like the Snickers you recognize. Each bar now moves toward one of the fastest parts of the entire factory, the packaging line. Robotic arms, foil feeding machines, heat sealers, and sensors all work together to wrap thousands of bars per minute. The wrapper is sealed with heat and pressure, stamped with lot numbers and expiration dates, and sent to conveyors that sort bars into boxes. Every bar is scanned, weighed, and checked. If even one wrapper is off-center, the bar is tossed out. Only the perfect ones make it to stores. And from there, they go everywhere. Grocery stores, gas stations, movie theaters, vending machines, lunchboxes, glove compartments, and into the hands of millions of people craving that perfect bite. Snickers is mass-produced, yes, but each bar represents a surprising amount of food science and engineering. Precise roasting, exact caramel temperature, nougat aeration, chocolate viscosity, cooling curves, sound measurements of the snap factor. Even peanut distribution is scientifically controlled, and that combination is why Snickers feels so satisfying. Crunchy, chewy, creamy, sweet, salty, warm, melty, and rich all at once. Few candy bars hit all these sensations in one bite. Even though it's a simple candy bar, you can turn Snickers into a gourmet experience with almost no effort. Slice it and serve it over vanilla ice cream, chop it into hot oatmeal, melt it slightly and drizzle over fruit. Use it in s'mores, or simply enjoy it straight from the freezer. The peanuts become extra crunchy and the caramel becomes chewy like toffee. Small upgrades, big difference. And that is how Snickers is made. From peanut fields to factory belts, from chocolate rivers to cooling tunnels, from precision engineering to your hands. A candy bar that feels simple, yet is built with extraordinary technique. Now I'm curious, do you like Snickers? Or is there another chocolate bar you want to see behind the scenes next? And don't forget to follow Yoru Curiosities for more deep dives into the foods, inventions, and mysteries you see every day, but never truly notice.